Hello, lovely people. It's another day. The Queen's Jubilee is over. Whoop whoop. Long live the Queen. Right, so on the menu today is shito anwa and some side dishes, veggies, of course. So I'll start off with some coleslaw and put it in the fridge so it marinates and gets more flavorful as the cooking goes on. So by the time we are done and about to eat, it will be so delicious. So I've got my food processor here and I've got an onion washed and cut up. Oh, I have to cut it up into two. I've got some carrots, two of them. This is one cord apple. And then there's cabbage. And two celery sticks. Because this is my coleslaw. So more veggies. The more veggies, the better. And they all go well together. So why not? Going to cover this up. And then essentially just use the pulse button for a few minutes. It wouldn't even be up to a minute. I would just pulse it about 4 times and everything would be done. So let's turn it off on first. It's on, yes. Pulse. Yes, so it's convenience. I mean, this is speedy cooking and I prefer it that way. I must admit I had to pulse it a few more times and this is the texture. I'm going to add some salt, pink Himalayan salt, about a teaspoon of brown sugar, and I prefer egg-free mayo, the vegan kind, for my coleslaws because I'm not a huge fan of raw eggs, which is in coleslaw, and I think this is healthier as well. So I'll just get a dollop or two on there, stir it, and then put it in a container and then put it in the fridge and get on with the rest. It's shito time and I've got some hot pan with oil in it. I went ahead and pulverized some shallots in the food processor. That goes in first. And the same amount of ginger goes in. And I'll leave this to cook and keep stirring till it turns golden brown, not burnt, and then I'll introduce the next thing to go in. Meanwhile, let's get on with cooking the rice so it cooks together with the shito. Now, Asians have rice as their staple food, so I'd say you need to contact them and they will give you the rundown of which rice to use for what occasion. Preferably for not all my rice dishes, for cooked rice, plain rice, for my anwa, and then for jollof rice, I've got 2 brands of rice here because they're similar in taste. I've got the Green Dragon, which I get from my local Chinese shop. And then I get this from Asda. It's Trophy Jasmine rice. And they're equally delicious in my opinion. So that is what I use. And this was for demonstrative purposes. So over here, I learned a tip from a sushi master on the best way to sort of clean rice. So I'll show you. So rice has to be cleaned properly so the water runs clear. Please do not go about saying this is perfumed rice. So you take the rice and into whatever you're cooking straight up. Come on, darling. The rice has been processed and bagged. You don't know who handled them. So, you know, there's excess starch that might come off through the cleaning process. But then again, there's dirt and other things, okay? So it's very important to sort of try and be a bit hygienic in your food preparation. So I'm going to add some water, clean water to it, and then swirl it around like so for about, I'd say, 20 times. I learned this from those who handle rice best, sushi masters. Just swirling it around so the grains do not break unnecessarily. And then you see how cloudy this water is. I'm going to just drain the water. Clean again. So, making some splashes here. Clean again. So the water runs clear. Then I'll transfer it into my cooking bowl. So this is how clear the water is. 2 cups of water. And I'm going to add some salt to taste. I'll taste it again. And then use the middle finger. You know, the tip of the middle finger. This is a foolproof method to cooking rice and getting it perfect. Just dip your hand in, and if the water level reaches this bit of the finger, then you're guaranteed the rice will be gorgeous. This is Obaya's rice, so something extra to go along. This is Kira water. It's called by Indians, but it's called, I think it's the extract of the pandan leaf that is used in Thailand and a few other places. Honestly speaking, I think that is what gives jasmine rice its gorgeous taste. This is very fragrant, so I go easy. I'm only adding half a teaspoon to 2 cups of rice. And the fragrance it gives, trust me, it's worth it. That's gonna go on the fire, and I'll wait for bubbles to form at the top. Turn it low and then steam for 15 minutes. And then flavor it for the next 5 minutes. Let's turn our attention now to the shito. Do you see how golden, golden the ginger and the garlic has turned to, and then the rice was turned low to the lowest heat, so it's doing its own thing. So I'll show you what I'll put in next. If you watched my last video, you'd be aware of this outer skins and heads of the raw king prawn that I pulverized. And so I've put it in this blender here. And then I'm going to also add the ginger and the onions and the garlic from the fish I fried in the oven. And then I'm going to add some tomato puree in there. Blend it all up and put it in the golden in the golden onions and ginger mixture on the fire. I would also add some garlic to it. raw garlic to it. Raw garlic and tomatoes are great together. And this is chicken seasoning to go in. And we move on. The shito is doing its own thing. I'm yet to put the last ingredient in. And the rice is almost cooked. We're going to make some omelets. Or an omelette. Do you remember this flavorful oil from last week? Yes. I'm going to add some on the hot in the hot pan. I've got here 4 eggs, 1 broccoli floret cut up and finely chopped, 3 baby corns finely chopped, and 2 spring onions finely chopped, a dash of curry powder, and salt to taste. So that's essentially the omelette we're going to be having. So that goes in the pan. Yeah. Now, it's important to mix the oil into the omelette so it flavors it beautifully. Before leaving it to cook, it's very, very important. So the oil has gone everywhere now. So I'm going to leave it to cook and then flip it over. It's time to also flavor the rice. This is orange rind grated, about a teaspoon. In it goes. Yes, this is obayas anwa, packed with flavor. I don't like soggy onions in my anwa, so I go for crispy onions. And I would add just a tablespoon or 2. And then just a tablespoon of oil. I mean, if you're watching your diet and the oil content, I'll suggest that you add the oil at the end of cooking the rice. And one more is basically oil and rice. So just 1 tablespoon of the flavorful oil. And then I'm going to turn it with a fork till everything is incorporated. Leave it for 5 minutes. And then the rice, the anwa is done. Simplicity. So this part of the shito is very important. It's been cooking great. And it's turning already. It's turning into that dark shade. It's very important at this stage to just lower the heat. I'll turn it to gas mark too so it doesn't burn. And this right here is the herring from my first cooking video. I put it in a dehydrator to dry out completely and then turn into a powder in the blender. So that's fish powder going in. Cayenne pepper, very hot. That's gonna go in as well. And I've got dried shrimp that I turned into a powder. For the dried shrimp, this is highly recommended. You can get it in your local Thai or Asian shop. It's gorgeous when it's put in shito because it has no bitterness to it at all. So I'm going to just, as you can tell, I've not added too much oil in the shito because I still have the leftover oil from the fried fish in the oven to go in. That's the last bit to go in. The shito has the heat has been turned low, and then onto this omelette right here. I'm going to flip it now. It's ready to be flipped. So wish me luck. I've got my plate here, and I'm going to just flip it around. Yay! See how gorgeous that is. So that's gonna go in. Now leave it to cook. And in about 10 minutes, we'll be eating. All right. I'm so tired, but it was worth it. Ow! And the food is great. Try it sometime. It's a beautiful type of type of weather in Edinburgh, and it's time to eat. So I've got some very fragrant presentation is very necessary in food because people eat with their eyes, don't they? So I've got some anwamo or rice with oil, and it's obaya's anwamo, so it's got, you know, lemon rind and onions and kira water. I'll add some shito and then add some veggie omelette. Okay. And in my mouth it goes, because why not? Cleanse the palate. I've got some candied, naturally candied green grapes. My next bite is going to go with a coleslaw, some oil rice or anwam, some shito. This is good. This is good. This is good. And then I've got my Jagolan Ginosperma tea with some cane molasses. I'm going to sip on it. Thank you, my Chinese ancestors. That's the tea. Very nice, naturally sweet and great. So, another episode has ended and I hope you enjoyed it. And do give my recipes a try. And keep watching. Subscribe to my channel. There's only 5 subscribers now. Kindly subscribe. Thank you for the Facebook views. And thank you for patronizing my personal blog. The way it's going, it's like, oh wow. If I had known, I would have started earlier. So thanks and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.